This Halloween, ghoul all out with Instacart. Whether you're hunting for the perfect costume, eyeing that giant bag of candy, or casting spells with eerie decor, we've got it all in one place. Download the Instacart app and get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes. Plus, enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Minimum $10 per order. Service fees, other fees, and additional terms apply. Instacart, bringing the store to your door this Halloween.
Okay, it's time to commit. 2024 is the year for prioritizing yourself. Begin your new smile journey with Byte, and you could start seeing results in just 2 to 3 weeks. Just order your at-home impression kit today for only $14.95 at Byte.com. Byte clear liners are doctor-directed and delivered to your door. Treatment costs thousands less than braces, plus they offer financing options, accept eligible insurance, and you could pay with your HSA, FSA. Get 80% off your impression kit when you use code WONDERY at Byte.com. That's BYTE.com. Start your confidence journey today with Byte.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send instant money transfers, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely, and parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Get your first month free at greenlight.com/Wondery. That's greenlight.com/Wondery.
Podcast legend Kristen Meinzer is back with us for the intro because last week we attempted to fix King Charles and Camilla Parker Bowles, Chuck and Cammy as we call them now. And we had 3 circus pitches that we could not decide a winner for. We decided to launch our Fixing Famous People Instagram account and give you all the power to decide who was going to be the winner. Let's get into it.
Okay, so in an unprecedented move, as you all know, if you listened last week, the polls were open. And the people weighed in on the new Fixing Famous People Instagram account at Fixing Famous People. And we left it up to the people this time. And there was when I tell you that it was neck and neck and neck, truly the winner won by 1 vote. And the person in 3rd place was only 2 votes away from the person in 1st place.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Wow. Incredible.
what?
It was truly
That's because we all had such good ideas, right?
This is
and neck.
unprecedented.
Yes.
I mean, especially with over 7.4 million votes, this is almost impossible. I can't believe it.
So,
Oh, good. That's my alarm because I'm a professional broadcaster. I'm like literally on the subway tracks and setting my alarm for dinner. So,
and the winner is
La La Land. Hold on, was that not the right answer?
Oh my God, that was good. Wow, what a simpler time. What a simpler world we lived in when that happened. Wait, can we all
oh my God.
can we
It's
all just think
fantastic.
about that for one whole second? Like, remember when that was drama that was happening in the world?
That's
Not
when we
people-
thought the Oscars couldn't get any more zany.
Worse.
Oh,
Oh my God.
Little did we
The
know.
best ever. If you ever Google video of Faye Dunaway at the governor's ball and the after parties that evening, every time someone tried to ask her about it, she dismissed it like it wasn't a big deal. She was like, "Oh, you have to ask Warren," and then turned around and walked away. We're like, "No, lady, you're the one who said it. We're going to ask you."
Oh my God. So the winner is Dominick Pupa.
No.
Yes. And
No.
I will say that the people were commenting on like the Instagram afterwards saying, I would want to vote for this person. I would want to, and then most of them were for you, Dominic. So if we had opened the polls
Wow.
longer, you would have been a landslide.
Wow. You know why I'm grateful. I'm grateful to the listenership, and I'm grateful for Kristen coming on and giving us one of our best episodes, and being unprecedented the entire time and changing the whole format of our podcast. But I'm a little disappointed because I was so sure I was going to win. I had quotes from Angela Bassett as Queen Raymonda in Black Panther 2. I was going to read our audience if I lost. Have I not given literally everything? Well, I got to do it anyway. Well, thank you to the listeners.
Yes, and Dom, can you just remind the listeners of what your PR fix-it proposal is for those
I can't because I cannot fucking remember. That was 7 days ago, and I smoke weed all the time. Chris, can you refresh the audience and your co-host as to what my pitch was?
Your pitch was for Camilla Cammie to go to the gays.
Oh, gay bars. Go to the gays.
Yeah.
How silly. That's my answer to everything. How did I forget it?
Just go to the gays.
Go to the gays. She better hurry up. Pride Month, we've only got just about 2
Yeah,
weeks left.
the window is rapidly closing. Dominick, congratulations.
Thank you.
Kristen, thank you for
both.
coming back and doing this.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. It is such a pleasure. And I just had the best time with you two. If you ever need someone again to come back and talk about some royals and how to fix them, I'm your gal.
You will be here again.
I mean, as before you even got on the podcast, we deemed you the Fixing Famous People royal correspondent. So
Absolutely.
The next time we have any kind of big shakeup with the royals, you know that you'll be getting a call from us. Okay.
I'll take it. I'm picking up that phone day or night, 3 a.m. I'm on vacation. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it.
And as we said, any other human being that you want to fix, just let us know and we'll get you on the podcast quicker than quick. So the lines are
people
open.
Are fucked. Yeah.
It's bad. Yeah. It's a bleak world that we live in. All right. Again, Kristen, people can find you at K10Minds on Instagram. Thank you so much for being here for the reveal and helping us launch our official Instagram account. Where can people listen to your podcasts?
Yes. Well, you can listen to The Daily Fail wherever you get your shows. If you want more of my royals coverage, or if you want to hear me dissecting and laughing at the British tabloid rags, they are terrible. So again, that's The Daily Fail, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That is a real shock.
I mean, you won by 1 vote, so don't be too shocked.
I what by 1 vote?
You won by 1 vote.
One. That's right. I don't care if it was a half a vote. I am victorious.
Oh, Lord in heaven. I mean, the only other thing on my mind right now, and much like when you were just thinking about balloons, I'm thinking about submarines. We're recording this on Tuesday, the day before it comes out. Mm-hmm. So by the time this airs, it might already be null and void. But just what are people doing? Why are people going down to look at the Titanic? I saw a piece of the hull in Las Vegas. You could just do that.
I didn't even have to leave my house. I saw the movie on my television. I can see it whenever I want. And I can see pictures of the Titanic with people on it too, even when it was in much better shape than it's in now.
And you spent $250,000 to die. Right. They're basically these people are never getting out. Right. They're basically saying they're probably already dead. So
by the time many people listen to this, it's likely these people could be deceased. And it's not about these people, personally. It's just about, good Lord, that's a lot of money to spend on something when you know what you could do with that kind of money.
To have it go so terribly wrong so quickly. You think if you're spending millions of dollars on this, because there's how many, 5 people, I think, or there's not one, there's more, there's enough people in there. And so $1 million some dollars doesn't give you the right GPS, right?
I have no idea. Or a flare or something. I don't know. I don't know how any of these things work. You know why? Because I have zero interest in going 12,500
leagues
feet
under the
below
sea.
The ocean's surface to look at a boat that I've already seen dramatized in a perfectly fine Academy Award winning film. And we've also all seen it. I don't need to go in it.
And what is there left? A bunch of rusted metal. It's not even it's oh, here's this part that's going to be so cool. It's just going to be a bunch of rust and
right.
barnacles. right?
Listen, people, if you have $250,000 to spend to go look at a rusting ship, may I ask you to Venmo me $10,000? I'm at Dominick Pupa. Like, you
No,
clearly don't need
1,000.
money.
1,000.
No, fuck that. If they
Like-
have that much money to go look at an old fucking boat, I'm upping my demand now to $25,000.
I knew you were going to 25.
For every frivolous activity a rich person does, I want to be paid for it.
It's insane. What is everyone's lost their minds? I started the last week with it's insane that Robert De Niro is having a child. It's insane that these people are like, I want to go. And like the Titanic is famous for being something that they said there's no reason that this would ever sink, and it sinks. And
The
so
train's here. Sorry, I'm in the Bronx today, and I'm
okay.
right by a window, and I can't leave from it. I mean, it sounds like a train in the Civil War era,
I know. I'm like,
doesn't
are
it?
we getting? I reminded me of the first scene in Titanic when they're like all getting off the train to go on it.
I'm reenacting the movie. It was supposed to be a surprise.
It was like sensory, like I was like transfixed.
Except at the end of my version of Titanic, I physically push the old woman wearing the diamond off of the boat. I don't even keep the diamond. I'm just so annoyed that it took this long to get here. I kill her. God bless Gloria Stewart. She really thought she was going to win the Oscar that year, didn't she? She really did. And then Kim Basinger swept in and just said, "Beat it, Oldina."
But also, she's in like one scene of the movie.
Still,
like
she's 1,000 years old and still wore aging makeup, which I never understood.
She was in she had like 6 lines. Like I have more lines in like the background of a Real Housewives scene than she had in the, you know what I mean? Like than in the movie.
Did more lines in the theater trying to stay awake for that goddamn film.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Wait, have you seen Titanic? The off-Broadway?
Obviously twice. Stop.
And it's
like,
well,
what do you mean?
I want to talk. So it's genius then?
It's Dominic, when you don't go see it, because when you do, you will truly walk into traffic being like, why didn't I write this?
Oh God, it's that
up our alley. Like if we could get them on this podcast, it would be great. They're like skyrocketing into fame, so I don't think that they will, but like they would be perfect guests for us.
And so the whole thing in Titanic is that Celine Dion is somehow the central character of the off-Broadway musical,
as if,
correct?
It's as if she was like also on the boat because she's the narrator.
It's just that alone is genius, and I don't know how I haven't seen it yet.
It's absolutely genius. It is a crime that you haven't seen it yet.
Did you see it when it was under Gristedes or in this new theater?
Sure did. Both
Good
times
for you.
in Gristedes because I'm a real fan.
Good for you.
It's hilarious.
What do you think they're going to do? You think they're going to send you the Titanic American Express? Like they're gone from Gristedes now.
I know. I'm just saying I was on it when it was, hot.
Now it's
And
terrible. Now Leah Michele is playing Celine Dion.
I mean,
is what
she
you're
would.
saying.
She would in a heartbeat. Wait, I saw Funny Girl without her, and the girl that did it was great. And I can't imagine.
Oh, wait, you saw it with Julie Benko?
Yes, she was amazing.
Oh, I heard she's so good.
She was amazing. Every time she spoke, I laughed hysterically.
Oh, that's really good.
And
I did see it with Beanie.
And I said, how could Leah Michele do this? Like, she couldn't. She's too serious and it's stupid.
Beanie was very funny. She didn't, she's not Mariah Carey, but she can carry a tune, and she was a pretty decent physical comedian. She took a lot more guff for that than she should have. I thought she did a decent job.
Julie Benko doing the pregnant bride was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm serious.
Oh my God. Beanie not Beanie, but Leah Michele, I heard, knows that Julie Benko is like the crowd favorite. And so every night she tries to physically give birth during that scene while on stage.
You're so stupid.
She's shat during the performance 4 times.
Yeah, she has hemorrhoids. She has like 17 hemorrhoids.
I do want to see it with Leah before she leaves in September.
I know. I kind of want to go back and see it with her before she leaves too.
Yeah, I'm sure she's fucking fantastic. I mean, she was born to play the role. I know she rubbed a couple of people the wrong way, but
Well, I mean, more than that. I mean, she should be on our list of people.
I know. I just don't. I mean, I think she's probably just a bitch. I don't think she's the Grand Wizard of the KKK.
I just think, but she's just every single human being that comes into contact with her is like, she's a horrible person.
Well,
and that you can't fix. You know what I mean? Like, if you're just like nasty all every day, like, there's no fixing that.
well, people have asked us to fix her too. She's been on the list several times.
She has, but we haven't put her on like the main list that we send out, which is like,
maybe we should.
Maybe we should. What do you guys think? Let us know on the Fixing Famous People Instagram account. Wink. Speaking of people born to do one thing.
Ooh. Wow.
Let's get to our guest and our client today.
Bombas makes the most comfortable socks, underwear, and T-shirts.
Warning, Bombas are so absurdly comfortable you may throw out all your other clothes.
Sorry, do we legally have to say that?
No, this is just how I talk, and I really love my Bombas.
They do feel that good. And they do good, too. One item purchased equals one item donated.
To feel good and do good, go to bombas.com/Wondery and use code WONDERY for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/Wondery and use code WONDERY at checkout.
Hey, Prime members, have you heard? You can listen to your favorite podcasts ad-free? Good news! With Amazon Music, you have access to the largest catalog of ad-free top podcasts included with your Prime membership. To start listening, download the Amazon Music app for free or go to amazon.com/ad-free podcast. That's amazon.com/ad-free podcast to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
All right, one of my dearest friends, Zero Waste Daniel, is here. He is a Tyra Banks super fan. On our podcast, This Is Not Sustainable, I one time had him name every single winner of America's Next Top Model in order, and he did not miss one person. From memory, by the way.
Oh, wow. A psycho. Nice to meet you, Daniel.
It's such a pleasure. Thanks for having me. It's nice to know that this fandom is like coming in handy for something.
He is like,
and by the way, I don't know if you were clear earlier when you said our podcast, you and Daniel used to do a podcast together as well.
Yes, we did. It's called This Is Not Sustainable. All the episodes are anywhere you can find podcasts right now.
Yeah.
Daniel, tell us a little bit about your brand for people that don't know.
If you don't know me, I run a clothing company called Zero Waste Daniel with my partner Mario. And it is an upcycled brand of genderless clothing, comfies, think like sweatshirts, t-shirts, joggers that are all made from designer leftovers collected from the fashion industry around New York City. So it's all scraps that are upcycled into these one-of-a-kind pieces. And we just launched a brand new line of swimwear featuring one Mr. Hassan Khan in the photos, looking steamy hot.
One of the crown princes of Fixing Famous People and Chris DeRosa's partner.
Exactly.
Crown prince.
Wow.
I will tell you, Daniel's tote bags are like, I use mine every single day.
Thank you.
Like, if you do nothing else, go buy one of the tote bags because you will never not use it, because I use mine every single solitary day.
You know,
period,
it's
done.
Like embarrassing to schlock your own stuff, but honestly, I use my tote bag every day. It's my favorite shape. It is just like the perfect tote bag. So
no, it's a perfect. It is the perfect tote bag. I'm serious. This is not an ad.
Also, hashtag not an ad, not an influencer. Chris is like the best consumer in the world and is single-handedly stimulating the economy. And
he listens to every podcast that's recorded, by the way. You are not even joking. He is supporting several economies, actually.
Economies inside economies, ecosystems inside ecosystems. He's really like, I don't think Chris is getting all the praise that he deserves every day, but he's like responsible for a bunch of my favorite television. He's like just an incredible friend. I can't with you. And now you're fixing famous people. Like, they don't even deserve you.
They don't deserve him. None of us do.
You are too kind, but that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about Miss Tyra Banks. Someone who I like.
Tyra Lynn Banks. I think we should really,
And
we should make it format that we know everyone's middle names and then do a quiz on the holiday show.
we should. You're so
I'm just
right.
throwing out these brilliant nuggets for you, Chris. I hope someone's writing these down.
Now,
in the fandom.
Daniel and I know her from America's Next Top Model, like as we watching it as children.
Sure.
But, there was another show called The Tyra Banks Show,
Which
a talk show.
that
I
Tyra
think
Banks
of
was
as
like a
on.
very dark time.
And there's someone else.
What
that
was
thinks-
it? It was a dark time, or you watched it when you were going through a dark time?
Oh, I no, I think all of my times might be dark times. Just it was a dark moment for
goodness.
her.
Mm.
Wow. That is what a fall from grace. I mean, one of the hardest talk shows to sit through. And I've sat through so many of them.
Did you ever go see it live?
No,
Like when it was taking?
I didn't, but okay, so Mario has an amazing story of actually going with his best friend to a taping, and he, like a fun New York thing to do. They're New Yorkers, little New York kids, like, let's go to a Tyra Banks show taping today. And they never went because on the way in, the producers told them, for today's episode, you have to wear a shirt that either says straight or gay on it. And then you have to sit in your section of the audience. And Mario, if you know him, in classic Mario fashion, was like, I'm not doing that. And just dipped, So never made it into the taping. And Mario didn't either. But that episode is like iconically bad.
It's famous. Oh, it's absolutely.
And so, every time it circulates around TikTok or it's, on whatever UPN is called now, I always watch it again just for shits and giggles.
If you had gone that day, if you had gone to 226 West 26th Street to see the Tyra show, what you would have been treated to in the 30 minutes before Tyra comes out would have been me warming up the audience for the Tyra Banks show.
Is this one of my surprises? Because
This is one of your surprises.
Just made a
I
face.
have touched Tyra Banks. I'm going to say Tyra Banks was a coworker.
Oh
That's
my
it.
God.
My coworker.
Your coworker Tyra. Oh wow. Okay. Wow.
I was literally the court jester. I was Tyra Banks' court jester. I was the one basically shining the red carpet for her to, on a daily basis, go to what you have described as the greatest fall from grace in entertainment history.
Wow.
I don't disagree. I'm not here to praise or the show or anything like that.
No, you already got paid, right? So like you're good.
Of course.
You're done.
Oh my
with that
goodness.
gig. You're doing this.
That
now.
was right, exactly. It got me this. I used to work. I was producing on what the fuck was it? The Style Network. I used to produce a show called Whose Wedding Is It Anyway?
Jesus
which was
Christ,
run by
cross.
can you imagine?
And
it was at True Entertainment,
I've
which
seen
was
it.
like
Yeah.
all the way west on 26th Street in what we called the Martha Stewart building, where
Yes.
True Entertainment used to
Sure.
be. And I would spend half the day there and then the other half of the day on the other end of 26th Street warming up the audiences for Tyra, and then I would zoom back. I was young. I mean, I would do literally anything for money back then. So those were two of the 6 jobs I had that year, and it was great. And the Tyra audiences were just, for a comic, it was the best audience I've ever had. For some reason, the people coming to see her, really vocal, really energetic, and just like super fucking fun.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, because she's
Like,
out of her
the
mind.
funnest.
Everyone who goes to see something like that is like there to have a good time. No one's there to like learn or like have like an emotional breakthrough. Like they're
No.
like, we're gonna go see this shit show live.
They want shit
Yeah,
when they go, like what
course.
they want it.
Of
They
course.
want to see. I remain mystified, though, I will say, is like when they called this project the Tyra Banks Show, which I believe was just eventually called
Tyra.
Tyra.
Yeah.
I've never in my life seen a person, when they say it's the Tyra Banks show, it did not matter what the topic was. It came back to Tyra. And my theory is that Lisa Rinna used to watch Tyra, pointed and said, I'm going to do that on Bravo.
Yeah.
And I believe that Lisa Rinna sits at Tyra's altar.
And I didn't even prompt. I did not. I swear to you, Daniel, I did not even prompt Dominick with the fact that you love Lisa Rinna.
I was like, how do you know? I mean, well, but it makes so much sense, right? That those two people seem inextricably linked, and I would just be a super fan of both of theirs.
Without question. Yeah, without question.
You know, what I love about Tyra's ability to tie it all back to herself is that it's unabashed narcissism, right? It's not like really like a subtle, like a braggy, like I'm like sitting there drooling, waiting for, but like, how does this tie back to when Naomi Campbell hurt your feelings that one time? Like, that's all I want to know about.
Do you remember that episode though? Or do you
even know Gianni Versace? Do you even know him?
They cleared the audience, like as though they were in physical danger with these two women in the room together.
Too much. I remember it well. I've watched it recently on YouTube. Like, it's an important part of my cultural zeitgeist. Like, we reference that almost every day in my house.
She really is beautiful. Have you ever met her in person?
I haven't met her in person, but you are now the third coworker of hers that I have had the pleasure of working with.
Oh,
and
are we allowed
everybody
to talk about the other two?
Sure. But everybody says the exact same thing. Everyone says she is just so beautiful in person.
Yeah. Like impossibly. And just truly like sort of like the female version of Michelangelo's David. I mean, she is just like perfectly proportioned. I'm only 5'4", so to me it was like being with Michelangelo's David, like something that tall. Like she just seemed just so queen-like, really, just like regal, and I want to say big, but in like a positive way, like just like a giant walks in the room when she walks in the room.
Yeah, she is the embodiment of a glamazon. She really is what the 90s supermodel was, and it is a stature and a body type and a presence, and she is one of them. She is in the pantheon of top model goddesses for sure.
Mm-hmm. When I used to do the warm up at the Ricky Lake show, even years before that, I'm old.
We have to
old
go
but storied
for cocktails.
Yes,
and talk sometime.
And we're gonna get Ricky on this podcast as well.
We
Ricky,
fucking
if you're
better.
listening. You better fucking come on this podcast. So when I did the warm up there, I was also a producer at the show at that time, so I would interact with her. Like when I introduced her, it was a hug, sometimes with tug. Kidding. It was a hug, or I would whisper like a Hairspray quote in her ear, which I really did. Like we're still friends, and we reference this a lot about that whole interaction. It was just a great way to start that show. But with Tyra, it was very much like I said, Tyra Banks, and then sort of walked away and waved as she came out of the runway. Like Tyra Banks wasn't coming onto the set from a side door like Ricky did as one of us and waving. There was a literal runway on Tyra, which I had fun playing on before doing the warm-up before she walked out. But once she was in residence, absolutely not. I had to be on the other side of the stage.
No,
and so I really, in the whole season I worked there, I only touched her one time. We were backstage during a commercial break, and we were going in the opposite direction, and she was like, hi. Could not have been friendlier. She knew who I was, probably because she'd seen me on the monitor in her dressing room. And she bent over and gave me a hug. She was very gracious and very, very bent over. This is a tall woman. I am a short faggot. And she was in like 6-inch heels. So she like almost couldn't unbend from hugging me. Sure. It took a few minutes. She hugged, but I had my hands around her back and vividly remember having my hands on her wig, which it had been in the New York Post just days before that. The cost of her wig was like $50,000 or $60,000. The current wig she was wearing, this center parted, long, straight to the waist. Yes. And I remember almost shaking a little bit when I was touching it because I thought I could ruin this off of your head and eat for the rest of the year and the next one probably.
Right. Were there any hijinks? Like, did she ever like flip out about something and you saw the producers like scrambling to like fix something?
I really didn't. She was always very much a professional. One time there was an electrical outage and I had to do the warm up for 3.5 hours. This is a true story because they were trying to get the power back on. Something blew in the control room. She came out. Someone was like, move, Tyra's coming out. I'm like, thank God. Like, this was after hour 2. And I was, I mean, I think I'm funny, but I was running out of shit after hour 2. She comes out in her robe and she's like, hey, y'all, I don't know what's going on, but just give us a few minutes. And then walks out. And I was like, bitch, you couldn't stay out here for 5 minutes and just go pee? They don't care about me anymore. They want to see you. But she was just, I should have known when she came out in her robe. I'm like, oh, we're not starting. She's not even.
No, she's not even.
But you never know with
dressed.
the Tyra show, right? Like she would come out in a robe. She'd come out in a white man's fat suit. Like she would do anything.
I was there for the bathing suit kiss my fat ass slap.
No.
Yep.
Iconic.
I was in the room. I looked at the audience and I was just like, what? She's not fat. What are we doing here? What is this? It was so surreal. It was like Callista Flockhart smacking herself and saying, kiss my fat ass. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. Wait, I can't believe you were there for that. I mean, that was going to be my first thing of like things that made people upset with her. I'm like, why are we here? Well, but you were going to ask Daniel something before I stopped you. You have no idea what it is.
Oh, I wanted to ask because I don't want to offend anyone. I was only a casual America's Next Top Model viewer because I'm a little older than you guys, but I love any generation that grew up with that. I'm obsessed that's your point of reference for so many things.
Yes.
Recently, all these clips started being recycled from the original show, and
she was just being insane,
being viewed as like a serial murderer, basically, where people are just like, how was this show on television? How was this woman allowed to say these? Like, it was pretty brutal. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I totally saw all of that play out live on TV and couldn't wait every week for the latest installation. In the spirit of many things that have not aged well, I think it was groundbreaking at the time. It definitely tore down an enormous barrier. I come from a place of love and compassion. And in all seriousness, Top Model was my first and original touch point with queer people on television. And so it was a very exciting thing for me to watch this program. And I also always wanted to be a fashion designer. So I learned so much about the format and the structure of the industry from the show. And I grew up to work with designers who were on that show, to go to places that I saw on that show and like live my fucking top model fantasy. Like I have a certain level of respect for what it gave me as like a kid out in the boonies in Pennsylvania, like doing nothing, having an access point with all of this stuff I wanted to know about.
Oh, I have chills. That's just, I love stuff like that. I love hearing stories of how what everyone's first access was to visibility and how it changed them like this. Specifically pop culture, television shows, movies, etc. That is just stunning. Like I truly have chills. That's pretty amazing.
And I'm sure I'm not the only person who feels that way about it.
I'm sure. No, I just never thought of those. Because I'm a little older and was already way out when the show premiered, I have a different POV about it. My shows are all like, well, they're like linographs from the Civil War, those shows. They were cave drawings. Well, no, but it's just funny to hear that show be the reason. And of course it would be. I mean, it's what Drag Race is now to a clitoral generation of queer people.
Well, and like, we were also children whenever it aired. So like all the parts that were like monstrous and like horrible, we were like, ha, like we didn't know any better. Like we had no idea. We were like, this is the industry. Like, ooh, like we had no
Right.
idea.
Yeah.
Like
It
which
must
like,
have
I would
seemed like-
watch, which like if I watched something like that now as an adult, I'd be like, what the fuck is this?
Right. It must have seemed like cartoon villainy to you.
Yes,
when
Yeah,
you were
yeah, a
watching
little
it.
bit cartoon
Yeah.
villain, and
And like diva.
definitely the diva portrayal.
Right.
And I will say she always had a foil, right? Like she was psychotic, but she was never the worst. Like Janice was the villain, you know,
Yes.
or someone was always the villain. It was never produced as Tyra. And
Right.
you know, back to the whole like queer people on television thing, like I feel like we would be remiss just not to talk about how the show put Miss J on television in the early 2000s. You know, we are tearing it down for all the horrible things that it did. Like that is a non-binary person with of color with a voice of authority on television. This was groundbreaking and very important in queer culture. And for all of the horrible things that it did, it really uplifted some incredible people.
By just giving them visibility.
Exactly.
I mean, really, you're right. No matter what the result was, there's still value in the visibility, even if some of it had negative results.
Yeah, not even questionable, just negative
I think
results.
when we look at the negative results, like they're also mostly interpersonal, right? Like she really tore people down and victimized them, and you can't skirt away from that. But the show, neither of the shows, any of the shows, I think that like it kind of leads you to the conclusion that she is the problem, right? Because the format's doing great with RuPaul hosting it.
Yeah.
But, you know, and to that point, like, it really does feel like when you watch early seasons of Drag Race that they are like RuPaul's Next Top Drag Queen, right? So,
oh yeah, which I think is deliberate. That's always been the subversive genius of that show to me. Is like you're clearly spoofing an entire show, specifically that one, while also somehow being the most infuriating version of that genre.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where people will pull their hair out watching.
And making the same mistakes, right? Like personally victimizing people and excluding like genres of people. And it's like, did you learn nothing from watching 20 seasons or 22 seasons of Top Model?
Well, and I think the other thing that was funny about like Top Model was like every single one of us that's my age, including Daniel, if we say, I only have one photograph in my hand, like we immediately know what that is. You know what I mean? Like she, like if that show aired now, it would be a meme factory.
Oh my
Do you know what I
gosh.
mean?
It
Like,
already
it is already.
Yeah.
But
like it is already
from a million years ago. But like when she would just do that, like remember whenever they had to do like an acting challenge, so she like came in to talk to them, and like whenever she would like come in to see them, they were all would like fawn all over her, and then she was like, oh sorry guys, oh
yes, I know.
And then she
before the makeovers,
and then she fainted on the ground, and then she was like, I was
and
acting.
they're like crying. I also like
so
I just think about how like that meme of her going like this when she's like yelling
screaming
at
at the girl,
Tiffany, and then Rebecca
Yeah.
just like everybody forgets that Rebecca's response to that was that she passed out. Like she just fully had like some sort of basal vagal thing happen in her body, and her eyes roll back and she conks out. Like that is one of the best episodes of reality TV of all time.
I religiously watched Dancing with the Stars like once Carol Baskin was on it from Tiger King, because I was like, I'm not gonna watch this. Like, and like every time Tyra showed up on the screen, every single person I was watching the show with would go, oh my God.
Well, yeah, because
at every outfit that she wore, at every hairstyle, at all of her makeup, like she looked so crazy in that show. And I think that is really what kicked off the like, let's go back and look at her old work, and like let's look at like all the horrible things she did on America's Next Top Model. And then like just everyone was just like, is Tyra okay? Like I would get texts being like, is Tyra Banks okay? ?
And I think
then pictures of their TV screen.
Where she went fatally wrong and shot her own career in the face is she's on the wrong side of the table. She shouldn't be hosting the show. She should be a judge. Yeah, I've spoken to several people who have worked with her across now the Tyra show, Top Model, other projects, like a lot of firsthand accounts, and they are all like, you join in the middle of whatever's going on at 100 miles an hour. Like, that is where you meet her. She is already 45 steps ahead of you, talking about fucking, I got my whatever degree at Harvard and we're going to go to Model Land and I already built this shoe and like it's all going to be made out of ice cream, and it's like fucking everything is crazy.
I will say, in the conversations that I would overhear standing in my little, the maid's quarters or whatever, wherever the warm-up person would sit, adjacent to the producer bit, I, when I would hear conversations with the EPs and the producers, she is like truly whip smart and is like someone who actually reminds me of Rue in the way they're sort of like whip smart about show business and will delay you or dismiss you really respectfully with a smile on their face, but would always make it very clear to the person she's talking to when she didn't have time for whatever they were talking about, but wasn't ever rude about it. But yeah, she was just like a true, been around the block, been around the catwalked around the block, whatever the fuck I'm trying to say. She just knew her shit.
Yes. And I've heard,
and you knew she knew her shit within 5 seconds of talking to her, and you could tell that the staff there was pretty well trained about like, I'm not bothering this woman unless I know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about, because I'm going to get her attention for 15 seconds, and then that's probably going to be it for the week. So got to make it count.
Yeah, I would say like courteous, polite, professional, like all those words come to mind. I can't say that anyone says that they like her or that they know her well. It seems like who she is interpersonally is very separate from the Tyra we all know or that anybody works with.
But that's fine.
I think it's totally fine. I actually give her a lot of credit for that.
Does everyone need to be her best? Does everyone need to be her best friend? I don't think so.
And I from similar firsthand accounts of other celebrities of every ilk, housewives to Beyonce, the ones who are always thought of as easiest to work with are never the ones who are thought of as the nicest.
Right. Correct.
So she's a consummate professional. There's a reason people keep hiring her over and over. She's got her shit together. It's just like what she's going to say when
her sanity is what's the problem.
Right. Camera is like complete.
When the red light's off, she's an absolute dream.
Exactly.
When it's on and you're the producer, you're like, will I have a job at dinner?
Exactly. And I think that's a very interesting combination. And you know who I think is probably really similar? Rinna.
Yeah.
Wow. What do we think? She's I want to say that I think that like she went from being someone that was an expert in something to now being someone who's just like known to be like an insane person. And like even on Top Model, when she was being insane, we were like, but she's the reason that this show exists is because she's such a successful model. And so like, it's like she kind of lost her expertise, I want to say, and just became like the crazy part of herself.
Well,
which is like where now we're in this predicament because she's fired from, I don't want to say fired, but she
left Dancing with the Stars.
She left Dancing with the Stars as the host
after 3 seasons.
Thank you. Each outfit crazier than the last, like a miss and like a swing and a miss and a swing and a miss and a swing and a miss and a swing and a miss.
No, it was like watching Natalie Portman in Star Wars. It was just like every time she walked out, you're like, what the fuck planet? What is this?
Is that what we're doing with our makeup now?
You're ruining an institution with your ugly dresses. What are you doing?
All right, Dominic, are you ready to pitch?
I am.
What Tyra Banks is going to do is reclaim her throne as the queen of modeling and the queen of being a teacher of modeling. She is going to have a masterclass on the app masterclass of modeling to like up her like, her credentials and like really just remind everyone like what they were missing on America's Next Top Model, but it's going to be in like a very sophisticated like masterclass way. And then during that masterclass, she's going to start plugging that she is going to be doing a show only on social media that is essentially America's Next Top Model, but she's taking like influencers that think they're models that take photos of themselves on Instagram and TikTok all the time, and they're the contestants. And she's basically recreating America's Next Top Model on TikTok / Instagram / whatever the fuck, Snapchat, like whatever.
Wow.
But it's all people doing stuff for Instagram. And so she's gonna like, we're getting her out of the host role. We're getting her into the expert role. We're getting her into the mentor role. We're getting her back into her roots and where she can like be insane when she screams at people and say like, you don't have like I know what followers are. Like you don't know what followers are. Like you wish that, you know, when she's crazy, she can be crazy again, but then also like use her talents for good. And by good, I mean degrading other women until they cry and then reward one of them with a modeling contract.
Hey, they started degrading men by the end too.
Oh, copy
Thank
that.
God.
Degrading
Equality
people.
for all.
Excuse me, I misspoke.
Equality for all.
Happy Pride Month. So
there were also like a lot of like trans and non-binary and androgynous people in the
correct.
show.
Okay, so people. So just people.
Yeah. But she was incredibly degrading to all of them.
I said that very quickly, but that's my pitch.
In my mind, it's like it doesn't really need to be episodes, right? Like, because like as someone who like posts for work, right? Wouldn't she just like have 10 influencers like all submit a brief for like some photo, and then she can just like to like market some, you know, influencer contract, and then
whatever,
like,
whatever
she just like picks her favorite of the 10, and like that's the whole thing. Like it's not like it's her as like
so
one of
you're
those
saying
talking
it's
heads on a TikTok being like, this is this person's photo and I like it for this reason, this reason, and this reason.
Right.
This is this,
Right.
and then this is the winning photo. Like I don't think there's like production value involved.
That's too accessible for me. Like that to me, like that is a good idea, but I want to watch her degrade the person to their face, like usual.
Oh, I see.
Like I want to.
Okay,
like, that's what we want to see.
That's really helpful information for me as I decide which pitch I'm going to go with.
Yes.
If there are no standards and practices here, like if this is internet only, she should start beating the shit out of the contestants.
Right.
Physically assault people on the internet.
Yeah.
Just sign a contract that like she's allowed to.
But no, it should be like it is America's Next Top Model, but it's like just like for Instagram,
right? Webisodes for Instagram,
and then she like basically becomes like everyone's like all these people that want to be Instagram influencer models, like they're then now flocking to Tyra to like learn how to pose.
Sure,
interesting.
You know what I mean? Which is like was always her like claim to fame.
Will she use the same glossary of terms?
She absolutely will.
Yeah, she's coined them all,
and then some.
They're all bankable.
My pitch is almost a complete rebuke of Chris's pitch.
Oh,
I don't want there. I don't know reclaiming, no rehashing, no. This is the thing. She helped invent a genre of television. She's always going to be the queen of it. Let's not even go back. What else has she tried? A talk show. Was she good at it? She won Emmys for it. So I don't know. They did win Best Show. I'm not sure if she won Best Host. They did win the show did win Emmys. No more talk shows. Talent shows. Okay, she's done it. She can't, this is what she can't do. She can't host. She can't be the focal point. It's too much controversy. She's already done it. Get rid of it. We're going to have to partner up. This is what she's going to do. She's going to follow the late career path of the great Dame Joan Collins. She of Dynasty fame. Now, Joan did admit she's an author. She's been a singer. She did it all, but she knows, and she knew later in life that she was only ever going to be known as Alexis from Dynasty, in large part because of her chemistry or lack thereof with co-star Linda Evans. And when they were both, I mean, they're both very old ladies, but when they were just regular old ladies, they went out on the road in a play called Legends, where they were basically playing a combination of the characters they played on Dynasty plus real life. They hated each other every minute that they toured with this show, which I believe eventually the tour got cut short because they eventually would not even appear on stage together. But it ran for a couple of years.
Yes.
This is what I want.
Yes.
I want Tyra Banks and Naomi Campbell.
How dare you?
I want there to be an annual summer twirl. I want them to have the theater in Central Park. I want it to be a stock location where every year you're going to see Tyra and Naomi in these 2-person productions. I'm talking about a gender and race switch in the new Brokeback Mountain play that's playing on the West End. I want it to be about 2 lesbians, and I want it to be Tyra and Naomi.
Yes.
I'm talking about On Golden Pond with an old lesbian couple, Tyra and Naomi. I'm talking about The Odd Couple with Tyra and Naomi flip-flopping roles every night between Felix and Oscar. And this being the next thing that
like,
Tyra
what
dominates.
Is that called? Like in repertory or whatever.
Yes, in the anywhere. What if the location every year is just a surprise and they just show up doing intimate performances?
And you
coffee
need to find
houses.
out where they are.
At coffee houses. A 2-person Macbeth. It's just Macbeth and Lady Macbeth, Tyra and Naomi for 4 fucking hours at a Starbucks in Encino. You only find out an hour before. And this is the stunt. They get to do what the 2 of them love doing, stunt queening, and just trying to conquer a new, they both do have some acting experience. Tyra's Notice is actually, she was in Higher Learning and she was pretty good. It was a small role, but she was pretty good in it. Naomi, of course, was
Coyote Ugly. And
Life
Size.
Best movie of all time, Coyote Ugly. And never forget Life Size.
That's like forgetting
Life Size.
Meryl was in Sophie's Choice.
Like,
really.
hello.
I should be shamed.
You should be
Where's
shamed.
Tyra's Oscar? Fuck the Emmys.
No, and like also, Dominic, do you even remember the movie Life Size where she was a
With
Barbie
Lindsay
doll that got
Lohan,
turned
right?
into a person? And
Yes.
she didn't know how to read.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like a really
Bring
big
it back.
deal.
Bring her back. This is the new area she needs to conquer.
So
Naomi
is that the
also
pitch?
has experience. Yeah, that's my pitch.
And I have to choose one now.
Now
do.
it is your time. You have to choose. What do you think? Which one do you think is better?
Can I
Daniel,
like
you
Mariel?
hold one pitch in your hand right now, Daniel.
You only hold one pitch in your hand.
The name of the pitch I do not call will have to immediately return to the house, pack your belongings, and go home. So whose pitch do I choose? Do I choose the fiery pitch that has all of the passion, charisma, talent that it takes? Or do I choose the pitch that is just raw and off the cuff and in the room? Ultimately, I kind of like Mario always says that he'll ask me apple or orange and I'll go banana. So I kind of want to say banana and like.
But you have to craft the banana.
I want
have
to
buy
mash
it.
up your 2 pitches. Like I
Okay.
like the idea of the masterclass. I think that is fucking genius. But I'm also like electrified by the idea of Tyra and Naomi on the same stage. Like I cannot, like I'm gonna think about that when I'm alone tonight. And I'm sort of like, let's like really focus on what they do and what we're talking about. Like, shouldn't Tyra and Naomi host and judge like the new Miss Universe together?
Ooh.
Wow.
Like, isn't there something there? Because, like, you're not wrong. She is the tastemaker of tastemakers in the modeling industry.
Mm-hmm.
But you're also not wrong. She is mostly famous for this feud and, like, has to parlay that into her sunset years.
I'm gonna like challenge that. I don't think she's most famous for the feud with Naomi Campbell. Is that crazy to me? I disagree with that.
It's not that she's most famous for it. Like, she's most famous for Top Model and for being a model and Victoria's Secret and all of that stuff. But I feel like it is her. I really do believe it is the thing that motivates her. I think it's the thing that gets her out of bed in the morning. I think it's the thing that puts money in her bank account. I think it's the thing that made her write Model Land. I think that it is her driving force is her feud with Naomi Campbell. And when you look at famous feuds, I love the Joan Collins reference. I'm thinking Betty Davis, like I'm, you know, and Joan Crawford. Like it is really when the stars that you love put everything in front of you that we are just glued to the screen. And I think regardless of which pitch, I think, you know, she does need to partner up. So I guess I do think she should do Masterclass. I think that's a very classy idea for her where someone else is producing. And I also, I think that she should team up with Naomi and they should be doing something, especially as they push 60. I think that that is a really good idea for them. Like, even if it's like a The View kind of thing, like I want them to.
That would never, please.
That would never work.
But I want it. And I'm gonna watch it.
Okay.
Is that a tie? Do I have to pick one?
It's a tie.
No, it's a tie.
I don't.
Chris
like,
gets more annoyed with a tie than I
don't
do.
like ties because I don't like because then everyone can be a tie because no one wants to hurt anyone's feelings. And
no, I don't mind hurting your feelings.
I don't think he gives
I feel
a
like
shit
if I
about
had
either
to
of our
pick one, it
feelings.
would probably be Dominic because I'm not gonna keep.
I think you should go with that then.
Her
You want the tie
TikToks.
now?
Like the tie's over. It's not a tie anymore.
Good.
Because Chris was rude to the guest, and now the guest is being nice to the
No,
one
I
that's
don't. Because I
Dominic,
don't
you
want tie. I
are-
want someone to win, and I think Dominic's. You love Naomi and Tyra together, and you love that, and I think that should win because I think
love
that's
that. I think it
that
should
was
win.
a
I
really
think it
good
has legs.
pitch.
I think from 60 to 75, they are on tour. I don't care if it's in Vegas. I don't care if it's in Central Park. Like I'm buying a ticket and it's hilarious, and I'm going with all my friends, and Chris and Hassan and Mario and I are all going. And like now you're coming too. Like look at that. We just sold 5 tickets. Like this is a really viable plan, you know, and I'm only going to have more disposable income as I get older, and they're just going to keep getting older. So, like, this is a really good idea for the faggots. We want it.
Okay, so my biggest challenge to this is like, will Naomi Campbell do this?
No, Naomi Campbell's not going to do this, and she doesn't need to. But you never know, right? Like Naomi Campbell is like impeccable, right? Like her taste is her thing. She is one bad decision away from needing to do this, right? She pisses off the wrong person.
Yeah, like another cell phone to a head. Like she
rolls an ankle. Like she starts taking a medication where she blows up. Like it's over. You know, she is so good because she's perfect. And if she's not perfect anymore, she's on tour with Tyra. Like it's like tomorrow, you know?
Got it.
So she's hanging by a thread, and as soon as she drops, you know, they're on tour.
I'm there.
It's very like Roxy and Velma. It's very like it's Roxy and Velma from Chicago. Like at the end when they're like, we hate each other, and there's only one. What do they say? Like there's only one business in the world that like that's not a problem at all. And then it's like them on stage together doing the hot honey rag. Like that's
wife.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
I just want them popping up in the strangest places. They're just like the relief players for the strangest shit. Tonight in Funny Girl, in the roles of Fanny and Nick, Tyra Banks and Naomi Campbell. Like what? Who wouldn't buy a ticket to that?
I want to
like,
see them do Frost Nixon. I want to see I want to see it all.
That was it. No more jokes on this podcast. That was it.
Goodbye. We're leaving.
Where's Shelley? It will not. That is the funniest joke of the hour right there. It will not get. That was it.
I'm dead.
That
okay, Dominic wins.
Yeah,
congratulations.
I did win. I'm going to accept it.
I hate ties because it's a tie is like two.
Well, good. You hated yourself out of a half win.
Yeah.
You hated yourself out of it.
Okay, well.
This was the week where there was a cash prize too. So wait.
Oh yeah, I owe you $500. I owe you
no $100,000 contract with CoverGirl.
Yes.
Yeah. And a photo shoot with renowned photographer Jill Ben Simone.
Yes, and the title of America's Next Top Model. We didn't even get into the whole like elevated seasons.
Well, we also didn't even get into the fact that Mr. J. Manuel wrote a memoir where he literally trashed her from tip to taint, like, and said she was like the worst person alive. So,
yeah. Well, that's what it's like to be Beta J.
Did you call him Beta J?
She calls him Beta J for like a whole season.
Well, there you go. Well, no wonder he wrote a fucking book about it.
Meaning, wait, as opposed to like Alpha J.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cold.
Yeah, no wonder. Dominic, congratulations.
Yeah, that
Daniel,
was an amazing
thank you for
idea.
being here.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank
it's
you,
an honor
guys.
to meet you, and it's an honor to receive a prize from you within minutes of meeting
No,
you.
this
as well.
really was a catharsis. I'm going to talk about this in therapy this week. Thank you so much.
I hope fondly.
Oh, yeah.
Daniel, where can people find you and where can they buy your clothes?
www.zerowastedaniel.com or at @zerowastedaniel. That's waste, W-A-S-T-E, like what you throw out, not waste, W-A-I-S-T, because it doesn't matter what size you are. We have clothes for everyone.
Dominic?
You can find me at my website, dominterry.com, which links to all my socials at Dominick Pupa. And if you want to see me live, you have one more chance tomorrow night, Thursday, June 22nd at the Cutting Room for my Pride show, Surprising No One. And Chris DeRosa will be there, which is sort of like a gift bag when you're coming to an off-Broadway show. Chris is the gift bag.
That's everyone's prize that shows up is that I'm in attendance with them.
Right. And a photo shoot with Gilles Ben-Simon
and
also
a photo shoot
with Chris. But Chris DeRosa has to be in frame with you.
A photo shoot with Gilles Ben-Simon, aka me taking photos of you on my iPhone.
Chris, where in the world can we find you?
You guys can find me at the Chris DeRosa. Rate and review the show and let us know who you want us to fix next. And always, I wish you well. And where's Shelley? Goodbye.